Shalom Aleichem, sisters. I'm back again for part 2 of our sewing video, turning your pants into a skirt. Just before I get into it, I do want to make a correction, and I must have lost my mind, but when you cut the seam out on the pants, like I showed you before, please, sisters, do cut the crouch out. I don't know what I was thinking telling you that you needed the crouch. So, all you're going to do is cut right across the crouch. And if you got some, if it looks a little frayed, don't worry about it, because by the time this is done, you're not going to see any of it. So, cut the crouch out. That was my mistake, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, the next part that we're going to do is, as you can see, I folded the fabric in half. You're going to want to fold the fabric because we have to make, of course, the front and the back. You just can't have one piece of fabric or your front's going to be out or your back's going to be out, which won't look too cool. So you're going to fold the fabric in half, which I've already done, and make sure it's as even as possible, Then you're going to take your pants and you're going to lay it on your fabric. You're going to make sure that the waist lines up with the top fold of the fabric, just like this. Very simple. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make sure, to the best of your ability, that the pants legs line up with one another. It's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be. You'll see as it completes how it's all just going to come together. You're going to lay the pants out on the fabric just like this, very simple. What I will say is that you want to lay them out as wide as possible without going off the side of the fabric. Because the wider that you lay the pants out, the more room you're going to have inside of this area for the fabric. And we want the skirt to move like a skirt. Skirts flow. They have a lot of movement. So you want to make sure you're giving yourself enough space in here for the fabric. Okay, now, once you have that set up like that, another thing you will need, sisters, is a piece of chalk. You can use a piece of chalk, or you can use, at the crafting stores, they have these pencils, these white pencils, and they can trace on fabric really well, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. A lot of those pencils are like $5–10. Just get a piece of chalk. It works just as well. And what you're going to basically do is we're going to trace out, very simple, what we need to cut to make the skirt. Now, you're going to start from the crotch. Crotch area up here. Thank you, Avia. You're welcome. Now, like I said, don't be afraid if it looks a little crazy up there because you cut it. But pretty much you know where the crouch is. You can tell by the seam. So you're going to start here. Just get this folded up here. And if this helps you to fold the pants back to make everything even, that's fine. The one good thing about what I call freehand sewing is that you're not using a pattern. So as you develop the skill of freehand sewing, you'll see that you have a lot more leeway to play with than you do using a pattern. And that's why I've always liked sewing this way. So, I'm just going to even this out. Okay, just like that. Then you're going to start at the crouch, and you're just going to trace all the way down the side of the pants. Okay, now, when you get to the edge of the pants, you're not going to want to stop there, because one thing you're going to learn about sewing is that anytime you sew with fabric, the fabric is going to bunch. You always want to give yourself enough room so that if you have a mistake in the sewing of the fabric, the garment's not too small. It's always better to have a little more than a little less, because you can always cut it. So when you get to the edge of the pants here, you're going to keep on going down with this line for about 1 inch. Or you can use like your pinky, your whole finger. About that much. Okay? So once you extend beyond the bottom of the edge of the pants, the next pointer you're going to make is the point that comes directly down from the crouch. So if you look where the crouch is, come all the way down, you're going to line up your 2 points right here. So you got one in the middle and one at the edge here. Then from there, you're going to come all the way around and you're going to line up, just like you did over here, point 3. It's really not hard, sisters, at all. So you got 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Now we can go to the other side of the pants, starting at the crotch. Come on down. And this is why I like to use the chalk, because the chalk gives you a much thicker line than the actual pencils. And it's a much bolder line where you can actually see what you're doing. So once we come down to that mark, we're just going to play connect the dots now. And we're going to swing over to our middle dot, and we're going to swing on over to our end. And there you go, sisters. This is the middle part where the fabric will go that will fill in the pants to enable you to make this into a skirt. It's very simple and it's fun. So I'm going to stop here and we'll pick it up in the next video. You're going to get your sewing machines ready at this point, get them all threaded, because now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this, of actually putting this together. Shalom.